Ladies and gentlemen, and news watchers all around San Diego County, thank you for tuning in to Emo Brown Presents Local Love Monday, brought to you by the wonderful real estate group, Full Circle Group. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing in real estate, put your trust in Full Circle Group. Alberto Aguirre, Fabio Ortega, they look like your cousins who sold you illicit substances in high school. Well, don't worry, they're selling real estate now, and they can't wait to sell your property. Albert, thanks for joining us on Local Love Monday. Look at you, man.
Happy to be here.
It's not every day on Local Love Monday that we get to have the actual sponsor of the Cancel Couch.
I think it's every Monday.
So thank you for being in on that. My name is Esteban Garcia, Steve Garcia. Since I went to Benita, a.k.a. Shams. Also with us today is Barry, the producer. There he is. Everything's red. Everything's good.
We're good. We're in the clear now.
All righty.
YouTube got nervous. Sorry.
Okie dokie. Joining us today, people have been asking,
Nonstop.
hey, I like the weather. I want to know about traffic. I love local Hilltop residents, Chula Vista residents. Can we put that all in one and bring this person? I was like, who are you talking about?
Everybody's favorite.
Ladies and gentlemen, everybody's favorite meteorologist, Vanessa Paz is here joining us today. Look at Vanessa Paz.
These are the ultimate hype men.
We're here for you. If you're looking for somebody just to cheer you on while you're doing your thing, we'll be there in the corner. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to cruise in and spend it with us for a few.
Thank you. I'm honestly stoked to be here. You go by Steve or Esteban?
Yes, ma'am.
Steve.
Okay.
No, I'm asking. It's a question.
You know what? It's a good question. When I was little, it was Esteban all the way growing up. And then sometime when I went to Tiffany Elementary School in 3rd grade, Miss Howater felt it in her best interest to no longer address me as Esteban, said, "You're Steve." And I was like, all right, Miss Howater,
Classic
you have red
Howater.
hair. So I was like, I'm Steve now. And I've been Steve ever since. But then I got to middle school. I said, yo, I'm Esteban. And it stuck. And then it became Steve-O. And then it just rolled. And I'm like, now it is what it is. I'm both.
Gotcha.
I'm both.
What does your wife call you?
Gordito. And out of turn. But I mean, and I feel if she ever stops calling me that, at that point, I know I'm fat. You know, it's like she calls me Gordito because if she stops, she's going to feel bad. Like, oh, so I know I'm still good. I don't know about you. But she calls me Stevie.
Okay.
Stevie. And that's just a family name. So use that shit sparingly, guys. Very much so.
Nice.
You'll always be laser Latino to me.
Laser Latino.
I like that.
Laser
Laser
Latino.
Latino.
Also another thing that, was bequeathed upon me. Enough about me. Vanessa Paz, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I want to know, is the volume okay for you? Okay, perfect. I don't know if I should. So I grew up in San Diego, born and raised. I went to Hilltop, of course.
Hey.
What's funny, fun fact, is you messaged me thinking, oh, I heard you're a Baron, this and this and that. I said, no, I'm not. I don't know where you heard that. And then I was like, oh, maybe he won't want to have me on the podcast anymore. But where is that the rumor going around that I went to Benita?
This podcast highlights the elite of the South Bay High School curriculum. We go with Benita Vista High School alum, and it was given to me. It's like, hey, we need to bring on meteorologists. I hear she's a fellow BVHS alum. I was like, who? And they said you. And I said, I heard you're a Baron. And you said, no, I'm a Hilltopian.
Yes, I'm a Lancer.
A Lancer.
But I grew up, born and raised in Chula Vista. I grew up right there off J Street.
Very nice.
Right up the street from the Costco on H in Rancho Del Rey. Went to Hailcrest Elementary. I'm not sure if you guys are. I don't know if Benita people are familiar.
When there was overflow at Tiffany Elementary, we would say, "Oh, just send them to Hailcrest." So yes, we're very well aware of Hailcrest and their honors and gifted students there.
Yeah. So I went to Hailcrest, and then I actually went to Rancho Del Rey Middle because it I was I think the second graduating class from there. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm really old. I graduated from Benita High School in '97.
Okay.
And you graduated in?
That's a secret.
We don't say those things.
We don't say those things.
We don't ask those things. Strike that.
I went to Hilltop, and I was there, obviously, my whole upbringing. As far as the news side of it, I actually did the morning bulletin for Hilltop High. That's how I got into news. Did you guys have that at Benita?
We did. The Crusader.
Okay.
World renowned.
Did people were people on TV broadcasting?
We
it?
don't know. We
you
didn't
don't
really.
remember?
Yeah.
He didn't go to first
we
period.
didn't pay attention. We're like, oh man, I was putting Jim Beam in my Coca-Cola cup from the ASB.
Oh, lovely.
Big ups to the president and vice presidents of the ASB. Go ahead.
So we had this program called the Morning Bulletin, and basically they choose 2 people from like the televideo class. And you went to Hilltop. Did they have Did they have televideo?
Yes, they
around?
did.
Were you part of it?
No, I was a theater kid, so I made a couple appearances, but
Barry's a thespian.
Well, that makes sense that you were. I'm just kidding. That you were part. I'm just kidding.
I like her.
I had my mute button finger on Albert, but I gotta put it over here.
Just the techie side of it. I'm just kidding, though. I'm totally just kidding. But basically, they choose 2 people from the televideo class, and you read the Morning Bulletin. It gets broadcasted in every classroom throughout campus. And I was doing that, and then the instructor, the teacher, he was actually the commentator for SDSU basketball at the time. And I remember him approaching me, and he was like, "You should really look into doing this as your career." And I was like, I was a junior or senior at the time in high school, and I was just like. And that kind of stuck with me after I graduated. I went to Southwestern. I really didn't know what I was going to do, right? Like I didn't even know if I wanted to do like the full college thing. I even studied abroad through Southwestern, like overseas for a while.
Oh, really? Where'd you go?
Yeah, I went to Spain, and I was studying Spanish there. It was all through Southwestern. So it was
La
really,
piscina, biblioteca, vamos a la piscina. Tío,
so it was really cool. Did that, and then I just ended up I started to write for the Sun, the Southwestern. Did you go to Southwestern at all?
My wife went to Southwestern, and we were dating, and she's like, "Could you take a couple classes with me?" And I did.
Oh, nice.
I am
Steve's got class.
I'm very supportive. She hated me because I did really well in that school. And
do you remember what classes you took?
I don't even know, actually. In all honesty,
Okay.
I know what was it? I remember one of the teachers very well, but I don't remember his name.
Okay.
But he's like, Esteban?
Yeah.
He called me Esteban. It's like, hey, you're doing really well in this class.
Nice.
And I was like, calm down, prof. I'm here because of my girl.
Yeah.
That's a wrap.
It's actually funny you say that. I remember eating at a JJ's Island Grill.
Yes.
Place is amazing. Shout out to them. But I had a professor that was one of my instructors at Southwestern. He came up to me. I didn't remember him too well, but he was like, "Oh, I taught you and I watch you every morning." That was really cool.
Do you get that a lot?
I get like professors from Southwestern or
That's
just
a little itemized. Do you get that? Hey, I know you.
I get that, and it usually happens in the places I least expect it. So typically the places, not that I'm trying to behave because I'm always behaving, but the places where I kind of like, I'm just keeping my cool.
Having a drink or two.
Yeah, is where
letting your hair down.
I don't really, no one says anything. And then, for instance, the other day I was at Doc's and the bartender was like,
wow,
he was
you like to let your hair down. Tell us more.
Holy shit.
Enjoy the knife fight from
Let me sit up. We got a Doc's patron here. Go ahead.
Goodness.
We were playing pool, to be fair, with relatives who were in town. That's why I was there. They have a pool table. Three Punks doesn't.
Elwood does.
The Elwood does. I was about to
I've
say.
never been to the Elwood, but I've heard.
Nobody's perfect.
Was that
What have you heard? No, wait, time out. What have you heard?
About what?
The Elwood. It looks like you got comfortable with it, but I've heard.
So I've heard of it.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of it, and I've never been there. Was it something else before?
It used to be called the Lion's Den once upon a time.
Okay.
Once upon a time, yeah.
See, I've been to the Manhattan. I've been to Wild Woolies.
Oh, wow. You are West
Like,
Chula.
I
Get it,
know.
Vanessa.
Christ.
Heck yeah.
But this was like
Mi barra?
Mi Barra? Have you been to Mi Barra?
no.
No,
where's
that's
that?
on 3rd Avenue across from Northgate.
I have, but
There
it
it
was
is.
something before.
They've all been something before, bro.
And then we had, anyways. Okay, I'm getting off track.
That's good.
But
Welcome.
And then there was another bar too that always had the reggae shows. That's
Diamond Jim's.
Yes, Diamond
Diamond
Jim's.
Jim's,
Yes,
dude.
yes.
They're
Our
still
local
green.
barfly Barry.
And
Barry
then,
the
there was,
barfly.
and then there was the Archway and Candy
Oh,
Cup. It was
R.I.P.
funny that when I
Archway.
first met my husband, we people from Hilltop. I don't know if you ever went. We would always hang out at the Archway after Thanksgiving, and I remember taking my husband at the time, who was from Bonita, and he's just like, "Oh, what is this place?"
Little side note for all of you other people listening. Hilltop students grow up to be wives of Bonita Barron alums. That's just how it works.
the goal of theirs.
That's just how it works.
How's that work?
It's like, where do you want to go to school? I want to marry a Bonita Vista High graduate. Okay, cool, perfect. My wife did it. You've done it.
Yeah.
I married a girl from Chula Vista High.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
Castle Park. Where did your wife go to school?
Hotel Ranch.
Oh,
Nice.
bougie,
So
bro.
all South Bay.
That's how we get down.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted to bring you on.
But it's
That's
funny.
what-
I remember, after college, I was like, "There's no way I'm going to date someone from the South Bay, from Chula Vista." I feel like all the women tell themselves that, and then
Why?
there's nothing wrong with it. But you're just like, like
No, I don't know, Vanessa.
No, yeah, elaborate.
Please,
Why do we hate South Bay men
Enlighten
again?
us.
you're just like, I'm going to find someone out of the South Bay where you don't know, like people don't know each other, and otherwise it's like everyone, and that's how it is now. We all like know everyone because we're both from the South Bay. Nothing bad at all. I mean, yeah.
We'll have to try again.
Yes.
But ultimately, you did leave the South Bay.
I left the South Bay. I went to college in LA. So after Southwestern, I eventually transferred out to LA, and I ended up pursuing broadcast journalism. So at Southwestern College, I was writing for The Sun for a little bit, which is their campus newspaper. And then I transferred to a university. I ended up entering their broadcast journalism program. And I got tons of experience there in broadcasting, writing, video. And then I came back to San Diego after I graduated. And this was this was about 10, 12 years ago, right? So it wasn't, I feel like the technology it's so advanced now, right? So when we were sending out reels, like it went from tapes to YouTube, but people were still, we didn't really have, the iPhones weren't too good of quality, and uploading it to YouTube wasn't as advanced. So then when I graduated from Cal State LA and I came back down to San Diego and I wanted to send out my tape. So the way the news industry works is you have to start off somewhere really small. So I was recording myself doing, stand-ups or reporting, and I drove to Yuma, I drove to Bakersfield, I drove just to these rural areas trying to get a job. And everyone was like, "Oh, I'm not hiring." But then someone in Bakersfield was like, "I'm not hiring, but I know someone in Eugene, Oregon that's looking for someone." And I had never even been to Oregon, right? I was like, Oregon, what? And so, but I just knew it was a college town, right? U of O, and Marcus Mariota was there at the time that I ended up getting a job there.
Quarterback.
Yeah,
Go
quarterback.
ahead.
That's what he played.
Yeah, so that was where my first news station was. I did get a summer job here though when I was looking for a job, which is Bar Basic. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. It's by Petco Park.
Boy, do you know about Bar Basic. Yeah.
And
Sorry?
They're moving, right?
I think so.
Yeah, they're moving across the street.
At the end of the season, right?
Yeah. They have the end of the year, I believe,
dope.
Figure it out.
to figure it out. Yeah.
The pizza. What's the pizza with the
that
fucking
pizza.
mashed potato?
Oh no.
Is that mashed potato pizza? Is
Yeah,
that what
the
it-
mashed potato pizza is so good.
Is it really?
It's bomb,
good.
dog. See,
They're
that's slang,
best.
bro.
Unreal.
I'm a basic urban faithful though, because they have such a special place in my heart. But anyways, so I ended up moving I ended up getting a job. I ended up submitting all my stuff to Eugene, Oregon, and I got a job there. And
Very nice.
Yeah, and then the way it works is, you have to sign a contract, and you're committed to them for
How long are these contracts?
At least 2 years.
Okay.
Oh,
At
wow.
least 2 years, but I was getting paid pennies. Like,
How old were you when this contract was signed?
I think like 24, 25 maybe.
You just needed to get in the industry. You were looking to get your foot in that door and make your
Yeah.
mark already.
Yeah, and man, it's such a cutthroat business, and you're kind of young and then living somewhere else, but then you're around a lot of other people who have the same passion, right? Like I was getting paid peanuts, but I wasn't doing it for the money. I was doing it because that's what I love to do. And so that's how it started. I was there, and then I finished my 2 years. At the time it was 2 years, and then Portland, Oregon. So from Eugene, people either go to Portland or they go to Seattle, and I was able to get my foot in the door at a Portland news station. And I started with the Fox there, and then I was there for about 5 years. So
That's.
yeah.
Fox
I hear it is a wild industry.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, my first station, Eugene, Oregon, the hours were crazy. Like I was working at 3 a.m. I mean, I say the hours are crazy. I was working, those are my hours now.
Okay.
But I was working 3 a.m. and I would sometimes stay till like 4 p.m. Right. And this was a company that was running it prior to the corporation or the other company that bought it once I was like in the middle of my contract. So they weren't paying, employees overtime, and we were just, it was so rough, but it really made me kind of grow up and just become appreciative of kind of where I am now, because I just feel like I really it was tough.
What drew you to this industry?
What do you mean?
Being in the news world. What is it? What gave you that ultimate calling? You wanted to be involved?
I think for me, it was telling stories. Okay. It's funny because we were talking off air and I was telling you, like, let's talk organically.
So we smoked the blunt.
It was organic though.
Yeah, it's telling people's stories, really. I think everyone has I know everyone has a story, and I love hearing about it and I love sharing it. And a lot of times, especially when it changes people's lives, right? When you put out those positive stories out there, especially during the pandemic. I mean, what a way for the community and neighbors to show up for other people. That was
small businesses, for the neighbors, for everyone in the community.
I mean, there's a big impact. I mean, now it's a lot. Social media is very powerful now, but prior to, the news does the same thing essentially, but social media also is really powerful to helping people. So
I've trolled on TikToks, just kind of like scrolled down there, not troll. I've trolled too. I've scrolled on TikTok and come across like news stations across the country, and they'll set up their camera, like their personal feed, and they'll just constantly like be looking at it while they're off of camera. Is that something that you do as well? How important is social media in your world?
It's very important.
Okay.
There are a couple things. Well, okay, I'll just say that. I have to be on social media all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to take a cleanse. Like for instance, I think it was January, February. I took the whole month off, and it was so like I got so much accomplished. But unfortunately, I don't, and I'm sure with you have to be on social media too. To promote.
I'm not a big wifey doesn't believe me. I say I hate social media. I don't like it at all.
And I envy the people who don't have social media. There's people who are like, I don't have TikTok, and I feel like that's like a big thing for me, like that I don't have it. But then I feel like it would also elevate, my presence on air and the brand, like the ABC 10 News brands.
So they push you kind of in that direction. Like, hey, get on there, get out there, put yourself out there.
Yeah. And for right now, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, which or formerly Twitter, now X. And I get a lot of messages, a lot of feedback on there. People, message me. They'll tell me what they like or what they don't like.
A lot of criticism. A lot of
only when there's weather.
Unwarranted feedback.
Only when there's weather.
Really?
Tropical Storm Hillary was a big one.
Really?
We had a lot of messages, which I was bummed about because that was, do you guys remember Tropical Storm Hillary, Hurricane Hillary?
Boy, do we.
Yeah. We rebuilt.
So
I had a branch that fell off our tree. I took a picture. I was like, what's this? What is this? Hillary strikes again.
I was upset about that only because I think it was just prior to that, right? It was the Maui wildfires.
Yeah.
And they didn't get enough notice, right? So we do what we can. And there are some people, they're elderly who just, they don't even get those messages. They don't even get the weather news, which is, when all that flash flooding happened, right? In parts of San Diego, like a lot of those communities don't have the resources to get that information, to get those alerts. So if we can overemphasize and we didn't tell people to go grocery shopping, right? We don't ever say, go grocery shopping, empty the store shelves. We just tell people what we know based on the models, based on the radar, based on the patterns, the climate in the area. And we were really fortunate that it didn't come to that there was flash flooding and people were, just had to fend for their lives. And, you see the opposite in Maui. They didn't get enough notice. Yeah. So it's like people are going to be really satisfied or we're going to be disappointed. Happy. Exactly.
We were at Smart and Final in Costco, loading up on all the waters. Everybody was. Let's get water.
We got to hydrate.
For which event?
I think it was for Hurricane Hillary.
Okay.
Yeah, we're like, let's go. We need some meat.
So we're trying to buy a cow.
Yeah, we're gonna buy a cow. We'll cut you in on that deal a little later.
If you want to get a couple steaks.
And then we get home and just waiting. Like I remember, like there was like a cutoff time, and we gotta be home by like 4. Why? Because Hurricane Hillary's coming, bro, and she's taking no prisoners. We got to go home. We got to wait at home. Wait this bad boy out. So we got at home. We're just hanging out. Now that way, nothing
the internet
happened.
Didn't even go down.
Yeah,
you know what? So okay, to be fair, right? And I understand where you're coming from, but there were areas that were hit hard, right? And just because the most populated areas were not, but there were areas along the foothill mountains, deserts that were hit hard. They had mudslides, they had flooding.
Yeah.
So it's not always fair to say, but they totally exaggerated it, like to the another level.
I remember Hillary Watch 2024. We're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, and my phone was blowing up. It blows up during those times, but then they're like, did it pass? I had friends, my best friends, like, so when's it coming? I'm like, man, don't stop. Like,
Do you get those calls a lot from family and friends?
The funniest messages I get are like, can you not make it rain this weekend?
Got
I'm like,
you.
sure, let me call my people.
Got you.
And seriously, like, people call me and ask me that. Like, can we just stop the rain? And I'm like, sure. Like,
so
no.
there you are. You're in Portland, fresh out of Eugene, got an opportunity to go to Portland. Are you currently doing meteorologists there as well as traffic, or what are you doing in Portland?
So what's really nice is in Eugene, right? So typically when an aspiring journalist goes into their first market, right, which is, in simple terms, there's not a ton of viewership. It's a very small market, right? So you're able to kind of test everything out. You could produce, you could edit, you could be a photographer, you could write, you could anchor, you could do weather. You can literally try everything
Really? That's awesome.
and find what sticks. So in Eugene, Oregon, I literally tried everything. Like, I was coming in at midnight, producing an entire show, right? Like, writing verbatim what the anchors would read, and then once you stack the shows, like I'm sure you guys do here.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
Yeah, we're doing all those things.
All those things you mentioned, we've done them too. Go ahead.
So then when the anchors are doing their thing, you make sure that that the timing's right, and for commercial break, and just if maybe you have to float a story, so which means cut a story. So it's cool. Like, your first station, you really like kind of learn the ins and outs of the news industry, and you find what sticks and what you're passionate about. And it had always been weather for me. I don't know. Math and science wasn't my favorite in high school, and as well as even entering college for the first years. But then I just kind of learning about it and why things work the way they work. And I also was living in Oregon. You're a little more eco-friendly, right? They have the compost. They've had the compost program for years, right? And then
Home of the hipsters. They were doing it before it was cool.
Correct.
Yeah, and I was really excited when it, ended up taking effect here in San Diego. That was really cool, or at least in Chula Vista. That's where it takes effect.
Oh, bro, wifey does that now.
Oh,
She makes me separate
man.
everything and put it into the green bin.
Yeah.
It's a bell, homie.
All right.
It's a whole deal.
They're not doing that shit.
It must be
in
something that they
downtown
learned
South.
in Hilltop.
They're not
bro.
doing it in downtown South. I tell
No,
you
not
that,
in
bro.
National City.
Downtown South, I believe.
Do you call National City downtown South?
I've heard people call it North Chula Vista.
That's right.
Yeah, Coronado East.
Coronado.
A lot of people call it Coronado East.
Not a lot of people,
Yeah.
just you, brother.
Yeah,
Just
Coronado
you.
East, North Chula, South downtown.
How did the opportunity to come back to your hometown come to fruition?
So Portland. So the way with another funny way though that contracts work is it's all about timing, right? So I had to have landed this job here in San Diego at a time where it was open, because once someone lands, like if someone were to take that role's like closed for like 3 years, right? 'Cause
Okay.
if someone's in a 3-year
In
contract.
contract.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So basically, it was just timing. It's all about timing in this industry. So it was funny because there was I was doing traffic and weather in Oregon, and then all of a sudden I was just like, let me see what's in San Diego. And I had been checking, right? Like I'm always checking San Diego. And then there was a traffic anchor position open. And it was funny because a friend of mine, and also it's a very small world, like the news industry. So the person who was the lead at ABC 10 News basically called someone that I knew and was like, hey, I heard you know this person, Vanessa Paz, tell me about her. And he was like, oh, like she's, South Bay native, knows everything San Diego, like she's trying to head back home. Like, so then my buddy called me and was like, they're looking for someone who's like from Chula Vista because they're trying to, I mean, it's, such the way it's growing, right?
Yes.
And they're like, if we can get a Chula Vista native in here, like who
Second
knows
biggest
the
city in the
freeways?
county of San Diego. For those of you keeping score, go ahead.
Yeah. So
Is Bonita South Bay?
Ooh, the hard-hitting questions.
Bonita's
Yes.
more South Bay than Eastlake.
Saved us.
I don't even say it. Sometimes I say that. Sometimes I, can find the argument of Eastlake even being not the South Bay, but Chula Vista.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm with you.
Sometimes.
I am with you.
Yeah.
They're looking for somebody from Chula Vista to check that box down here in traffic and weather, and you said, I'm in.
And also I knew how to say the streets and the freeways in Portland. I was just getting so much hate mail
Really?
because I didn't know how to like Willamette. If I showed you how it was spelled, you would say like Williamette. Like
And they wanted to have it say Willamette.
it is Willamette. Yeah. And then so here in San Diego, we
Fucking
also say the 5 and the 805 up there. They're like, don't you dare say the 5. Don't you dare say.
What do they say?
There's no
They say
there, right?
There's no the because then
It's you take 5 freeway.
yeah, then they say they're gonna know you're not from here if you say the. So don't you dare say the.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's totally a Southern California thing.
Good.
Yeah.
Never change.
They need to change.
Never change that. Oh, man.
Yeah. So then I came here. I landed a job here in January 2020, and then 2 months later, the pandemic hit.
Yep.
So my whole world, there was no traffic. Right.
That was a beautiful time.
God, that was a beautiful.
Not for you.
But not for me.
Not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were ready. They like promoted me. I went to my high school. I went to Hilltop and they ran a whole commercial and they had signed me up for all these events, all
That's
these
awesome.
MCs. And then March hit and the world shut down. And then I was like, okay, now what do you do? So I reported a lot of stories.
Okay.
Because traffic was just non-existent. And then during that time in Portland, I started my meteorology degree and I finished when I was here at the news station in San Diego. So then there was a role that opened up about a year ago for the morning spot and I applied and got that job.
So you do have to go to school to be a meteorologist. I know, because that's a question, right? Do you get that a lot?
It's a very good question because there are some meteorologists, I'm not one of them, who get very upset when people are called meteorologists and they don't have their meteorology degree. So you have to
Do we have non-degree holders who are meteorologists in San Diego? Name names.
Please lead with names. We would.
No, not that I know of. But there is. So if you don't have a meteorology degree, you're called a weather anchor or a weathercaster.
Or a peasant.
Yeah, I
That's
think
usually what it's called. So
We'll say it for you.
yeah,
We'll say it for you.
And is that a standard across the nation? A standard across the
It's
world?
standard. Mississippi State has one of the best programs that were helped put together by the National Weather Service. So that's where most people go. It's also online. So it's.
What about like meteorologists outside of the states? Because there's some in Mexico that are. We're always like, I don't. You know what I'm saying? You don't know? Because there's some TikTok famous. I don't want to call meteorologists if they're not because they haven't earned it.
Go ahead.
Weather
Some weather ladies down there that are very popular on TikToks. They just pop up on my For You page. I don't follow them.
I believe that they would. I mean, if you're a meteorologist and you went to school for it, you're going to call yourself a meteorologist, right? And you're going to get that credential. But I'm sure that you could find out if they're or
So
you
Google
could,
them. Got it.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Yeah, that's. I was just
Do a
curious.
little background.
I was curious.
Yeah,
I'm
sometime.
gonna
Do you watch
work on that.
Do you watch that news often?
Sometimes people forward them. You know,
Okay.
Sometimes people forward.
they want to know what's going on in
Yeah.
Monterrey.
That's a valid question. Where do most people you find get their news? Where do people get their weather reports, their local news? Is it via phone?
Instagram,
Yeah,
bro.
is it social media?
You know,
Is
I've
it sitting
been hearing
down?
a lot at YouTube.
Okay.
I've been hearing a lot of YouTube. I've been hearing like, oh, I see you pop up all the time. Like, for instance, the bartender at Doc's was like, I go, oh, you watch Channel 10? He goes, no, I actually watch you on YouTube. I was like, cool.
There it is.
Yeah, and I think once you start watching it on YouTube, it probably pops up like as recommended, I assume, or something.
You took your family to Doc's on 3rd Avenue where the option of 3 Punk Ales was right down
The Elwood.
3 storefronts down.
You in the
She's
magic.
looking for a
You
pool
guys don't
table.
have a pool table.
We don't need one. We thrive on quality of product.
And
You know
vibes.
what?
And
You know what
And
you don't
vibes.
have.
Good
You know what
vibes,
you don't
bro.
have either.
Go ahead.
You don't have wine.
No, we don't.
Yeah, and
We
I don't drink beer.
Not a big beer.
I
drink
don't drink
seltzers?
beer. Yeah, the
Do you like grape
seltzers-
drink?
I'm sorry.
Do you like grape seltzers?
Is that what they?
That's
was that
the
what
best
you
one
have?
in the South Bay. isn't it?
We're
Okay.
known for our seltzers.
It's good. I every time I go there, I get a seltzer, but I can only drink so many seltzers. Like,
Usually 3.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
liquid death now.
We
is
have-
that is wine go? Is that in the future?
No, because it's a completely different license.
License? I
Yeah,
see.
so
I
we're
see.
we're a manufacturing license holder, meaning we can only sell what we produce.
Right.
You know, and unless it's prepackaged, then we can bring in other things. But
Got
when it
it.
comes to beer, that's what we got. But the Elwood on Broadway, we're there for you.
Are you associated with Elwood?
Yeah, you own the Elwood.
Oh,
yeah,
you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Well, I'll check it out.
Okay,
Do they
see,
have
she's
pool
good.
tables?
We have 2, just in case one's busy. There's another one for you.
Okay.
The best old fashioned.
The best old
Hey,
fashioned.
but Docs has a fun karaoke guy.
Yes, it does. I'm a big fan of dogs. I'm a big fan of
No,
dogs.
it's funny though. I'll post Docs sometimes, and people will message me like, "Don't post it. You're a
That's
dog."
West Side. That shows that you are legit. You have your finger on the pulse of the vibes on the west side of Chula. The West Side vibes. How did it feel to come back home and now doing what you do here?
That was interesting because people out of the woodworks were messaging me. I had people who I used to work with call me, and I heard in the background like, "See, it is Vanessa. Like I have her number still."
No.
Like, it was so cool. Even to this day, I mean, I just emceed an event for my assistant principal from my high school who was like, this would be an honor. It's just so special. And not in a million years did I ever think I would be able to be on air doing my thing in front of not only my family, but all of my friends, like the people I grew up with. It's just so freaking special. But it's also, I know that, you know, the role holds a little bit of weight, right? So, yeah, I try to be active, but I also try to kind of, you know, I don't want to say behave because I always behave, but
How did we make the cut, Barry? How did we get the get the opportunity to interview you? That's thank you for that.
Yeah, and
we appreciate that.
I'm stoked. I feel like we also know a lot of the same people.
Yeah, we
which
do.
Is
I'm
cool.
pretty sure, yeah.
Chula Vista is such a small world. It's funny because when you're elsewhere, people will be like, oh, like, where'd you go to school? Meaning like college. But here in Chula Vista, it's always like, what high school did you go to?
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
then it's like,
Bonita.
they'll either give you a dirty look or they'll be like, oh, do you know so-and-so? Yeah, Bonita.
Bonita
Well,
all
Benita's
day,
not
every day.
in Chula Vista.
Bonita's in.
Bonita's in very
Bonita
well
is
in Chula
in Chula
Vista.
Vista.
It's just not South Bay.
He doesn't know because he went to Castle Park, so he can't even read a map, bro. So it's a
The
completely
South
different.
Bay is actually, so when I do traffic, right, it's for me, it's like 3 areas. It's the East County, and this is another like debate that some people say, because I'll say some pocket is the East County, and they're like, that's not the East
Like
County.
La Mesa or what? Lemon Grove?
I think like maybe like, I don't say, so what would you consider Spring Valley?
That's East County.
East County.
That's
That's the-
I
that's
would
the
never
start of
think
East
that.
County.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the start.
That's where you start East County. That's where you lock the
who made
windows.
those rules?
Thomas Guide over here.
Yeah. Oh, page B12. Remember that? Yeah.
B4.
I
Okay.
think someone had asked me what I considered. It was some place off the 15. I want to say they said like Mira Mesa, and they said that's not the North County, and I was like, to
No,
me that's the North
that's
County.
Central County. No.
Is Poway East or North County?
Oof.
That's where
Hard
that's-
hitting question.
Poway,
That's
I
where you
would
make
I would
your
say
money.
Poway is North County.
I would say East County. I would venture to say East County.
So basically, it's so when I report traffic, right? Because I do weather and traffic in the mornings. It's really divided up in 3 areas. So sometimes I'll say like East County or some areas in the South Bay, and people will like message me and be like, "That's not the South Bay," or "That's not the." And
So
I'm
the
like,
People really get at you in your DMs then. People really send you messages like,
yeah, it's usually positive.
Okay.
But people will say, they'll, tell me if it's something, but then I again, like that's something where I'm like, really, like, why are you messaging me? Like, do something else.
So the South Bay is what? San Isidro to downtown? That's where it ends?
So it's downtown's a little iffy. I think that downtown's more South Bay. I mean, I don't think it's the North County.
Is Coronado South Bay?
I think Coronado and IB are like the same thing. Yeah.
They're the
not if you
same
ask somebody
thing.
from Coronado.
Yeah,
Not the same
100%.
thing, but it's,
You know what it is? It's we're very prideful of our hoods down here.
Hey,
You know,
yeah.
like when somebody comes out of Chula Vista and does something, it's like, she's from Chula Vista.
It's really cool.
You know?
Yeah, it's really cool, and especially just meeting people. It's interesting because in Oregon, it's like no one looked like me there, right? And it's cool. It was cool up there because people who did look like me, they're like, oh man, like it's so nice to see someone who looks like me on TV. Versus here, it's like, it's kind of. I'm Filipino and Mexican. Like everyone looks like.
We're all Filipino Mexican.
Good
Barry,
mix.
not you, brother. Not you.
I love a mustache.
So
No.
it's truly special, yeah. To come out of Chula Vista, it's
Heck yeah.
really
Because,
cool.
I mean, we're a big city.
Yeah.
We're legitimately a big city. We're closing in on 400,000 residents, our population down here. So there is
How many?
400,000.
Oh, really?
We're getting closer.
Is that the latest
and closer.
report?
I think the last census was like 380. So I think
Yeah,
we're probably
so we're-
past
Oh.
400
We're pressing.
already.
Yeah,
We're
round
getting
up, why
super
not?
close.
Yeah.
Hella close.
Almost 500,000.
Oh my God, dog.
Which
And
is insane. And then you think, like, how many people does San Diego currently have? I mean,
it was like 2 million? Close to 2 million?
And half of those people are Steve's cousin.
Indeed.
If you're
Indeed.
dude, if you go to the brewery and you work at the bar, half of them are Steve's cousin and they need a discount.
is it a family like ran business?
Yeah, for sure. It's
Okay.
my parents, myself, my partner Kevin, and a couple of family friend investors that jumped in as well.
That's
So we're
amazing.
super family oriented, super Chula Vista centric.
So did you brew? I don't know if I'm allowed to ask you questions.
Go
Did-
ahead.
did
I'm
you-
ready.
Did you? So how did you get into the beer industry?
When we were 18 and it was 1998 for the World Cup to be held in
Oh, that's
France,
specific.
we had no means of getting beer. Our plug at Bonita Valley Liquor had just been fired, so we were stuck. Where are we going to get our beer and our liquor? So me and a buddy of mine decided to learn how to make beer. So we made beer
Wow.
and we had our beer during the World Cup. And then I
Wow.
just kind of kept going with that. Stopped after a while. I was in banking for almost 15 years. And I've always wanted to like run my own business. I wanted to just be, an entrepreneur, small business owner. And this opportunity came at San Diego State to join their program for the craft beer program for small businesses, and included marketing, basically all the back end stuff.
Is that a degree or certificate?
Certificate?
Okay, it's funny because I actually just met someone who's doing that program.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so cool.
I'm the first 23 graduates that came, or recipients of the
Wow.
certificate. So I jumped in right when it happened.
Do you guest speak sometimes?
No, they've
You
asked me, but
should.
I'm not good.
I have colleagues who guest speak and teach at San Diego State.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's really cool. You should offer.
I'm not
that.
good. I'm passable.
You're incredible.
Say it again,
It's
but look at the
incredible.
camera when you say it.
No,
now.
it's
He's
I think
incredible.
that
God,
I think
we
you're.
love
I
him.
think yeah. I mean,
I'm one story away from getting canceled. I feel like I'm borderline just saying close to saying something that's like, what did he say? So yeah, that's why I keep Albert with me. I kind of deflect over there. But it, like I said, being from Chula Vista, the spotlight is on. You know,
Yeah,
it's like you
yeah.
have to, whether you like it or not, you
Kind
kind
of
of have
especially
to be
on 3rd Avenue.
Yes, yes. I am just a business
because
owner.
I see a lot of places that don't survive on 3rd Avenue. It's
Don't-
funny.
Don't put that on me.
Did you hang out on 3rd Avenue growing up?
Yes, we used to go to the Vogue when we were little, and the La Bella was always a spot for Little League and soccer
Yeah,
teams. So we would
yeah.
always go there. That I did not like going to North Park, downtown, North County, East County. I'd like to stay here in the hood.
Yeah.
But we'd have to leave because there was the options were very limited.
Right, right.
So part of the backbone of wanting to start the brewery or any business down here was like, I want to create something for us down here in our community. So we
Yeah.
did our little background check on most of these pubs, bars, and breweries, and had our friends at work door like, hey, do me a favor, look at the IDs. Where are these zip codes from? Are there any
Right.
South Bay people? He's like, dude, like 7 out of 10 people that come up here are from the South Bay.
Are you one of
Very
the
cool.
first breweries on 3rd Avenue?
Yeah, so there's Chula Vista Brewing and us. Yeah.
But
and-
Chula Vista Brewery. I'm thinking of 3rd Avenue Ale House.
Yeah,
but
3rd
they-
Avenue Ale House was
original,
the
no?
original on 3rd Avenue
But
tasting room.
3rd Avenue, Chula Vista Brewery was at, or were you before or after that?
They were May 5th on my birthday.
Oh.
And then
Happy belated.
Thank
Steve
you.
of the Mayo.
Thank you, Steve of the Mayo, known on 3rd. And August 5th was ours.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting.
It takes forever to open a brewery, Vanessa. There's so
I mean,
many hoops to jump
Coming
through.
from Oregon, like that's all there were.
That's all there was. And
Wow,
Chula Vista
like-
was very reluctant to set this up
Yeah.
until they saw the tax revenue that's, coming to the city. Then all of a sudden, like, yeah, everybody can
Yeah.
open one. So,
And there's, I mean, yeah, I've seen places open but then close.
yeah.
But
yeah.
you guys are long standing.
In Chula Vista, it's breweries in Chula Vista. It's Novo, it's Three Punk, and it's Chula Vista Brewing. That's it. Yeah. So
That
everything
brew-
else,
that brewery,
yeah,
Chula.
everything else is a tasting room.
I see.
Yeah,
Or a tap house.
Or a tap house. Yeah, but breweries. I don't foresee any more breweries being built out, only because the demand from craft beer has gone significantly down. And if you're in it now, it's going to be our 7-year anniversary in August.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's bananas.
I remember in Eugene, Oregon, it was really cool. They had a hops farm.
Yep.
And you would pick hops for free beer.
Yeah.
Like you would basically work for them and they would give you drink tickets and then you would just get free
Look
beer.
at that.
And like
Always trying to find a loophole, bro.
it
I'm
was,
gonna do that.
it was
man.
really cool.
I'm gonna
It was
try
really
to do that.
fun. Yeah.
Other Chula Vista well-known celebrities. Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get to cross paths since you guys are like the big wigs from the South Bay?
So his show, I hope I don't get this wrong. I think Inside Edition. Is he Inside or Access Hollywood? Started airing on 10 News. So then he came and visited a few months ago. And it was so funny because I blacked out, right? It's like you meeting like
a little too much to drink before.
It's like you meeting like Kelly Kapowski. Are you Kelly?
Say less.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I saw him, right, and and he's got these dimples. He does. He has good, nice dimples. And it was funny because I was like telling all my colleagues, I was like, "Oh, we're going to connect so hard on Chula Vista. Like, I'm just going to go. Like, we're just literally." I blacked out. He was like, "Oh, like you're from Chula." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What part?" I was like, "Chula Vista," and he goes, "Yeah, but like what part?" I was like, "Chula Vista," and he's like, and everyone's like,
froze.
"Vanessa," I froze. And then all of a sudden I snapped out of it and I was like, "Oh,
Hilltop! I went to Hilltop! I went to Hilltop! That's your pride?"
I don't know what I don't know. Well, I think I said, "Oh yeah, off J." Oh, I said off J, and then he said, "Oh yeah, they're building all this new stuff there." And I forgot to say like the cross street because I was like, I wanted to be like, "No, not that J. Like I'm off J, like by the Chili's."
Yeah, the
like,
nice J.
Yeah, and he goes,
Not
and then he just started going off about like the new development, obviously the Gaylord resort, and I just ran with it. I was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "It's nice out there," and
you fumbled it.
I fumbled it so hard, but he was so nice.
Was he wearing an LA hat?
Was he?
That's a fair question.
We're very curious.
He was not. No. But I know that it's funny because I posted a picture with him, and the comments just
they were going hard on him?
They don't like him here.
No.
Well,
we do. Let me take this moment and tell you, AC Slater, aka Mario Lopez, big fan.
Welcome
I'm a
here
huge
anytime.
fan.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm a huge fan. He was sweet. So yeah,
Look at you.
Did he
You're
smell
blacking
good?
out again.
Did he smell good?
She's blacking out again.
It was cool. It was great.
Ma'am, your husband is watching.
I was also a Slater fan more than a Zach fan.
Really?
So yeah.
How big of a Saved by the Bell fan were you?
Well, what's funny is my colleague and I did a trivia, right? Like we popped up a trivia and I won. Don't ask me though, because
I got you. This is the one question I asked that differentiates everybody. What does AC stand for?
Albert Clifford.
And where was Albert Clifford from?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, because they mention it so many times.
I mean,
do you know the answer?
no.
I'm
He
much
watched
younger than you
cartoons
guys.
in Spanish.
I'm much younger
Does
than you
anyone
guys.
here know that answer?
Albert was a fan of Carrusel.
Sí. Caballeros del Zodiaco.
Yes, sir.
So where was he from?
I think it was Hungary.
Oh, you think?
Yeah,
You
Hungary.
don't even know.
Oh, I know. How about this? Hungary.
That's
His,
bold.
Yeah, his dad was like in the military.
I remember that.
And he used to be a waiter or
I
a
remember
busboy
that.
in Hungary. Book it. That's it right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of beefs and dramas with other news stations, is that something that you encounter a lot, or is that something that is a thing in the
It's
news?
fun. It's funny that a lot. I feel like when I worked in Eugene, it felt like that, right?
Okay.
Because there were so many of us going out together because that's like we didn't know anyone else. And then Sean, who's now my husband, he was like, "Oh, it felt like such an Anchorman moment, like when we were at the bars, and it would just be like 10 of us and then 10 of us from another station." It was nothing ever serious, and it's not like that here. In fact, I actually have friends who work at all the other stations, right? And also like the women in this industry at the other stations, they are like just such they're so complimentary. Like I've had people message me like, "Oh my God, you look so pretty this morning." Like, and we just really just build each other up, like
Good.
the
That's
females in this
awesome.
news industry. And it's incredible. It really is. It's
How
really
is
cool.
the industry for females?
What do you mean?
I once had a young lady who came in. Well, remind me, Barry, who do we have that came in from the news world? And we asked her, how is it being a Mexican woman in the news industry? I'm drawing a blank, but she said it was not always as welcoming as it is now.
That's true.
Okay.
Man, in Oregon, I got a lot more like negative emails and messages than I do in San Diego. Like San Diego's, and I don't know if it's because they know I'm native or that I'm from Chula Vista, but
We're in Chula Vista. This is your chance for you to redeem yourself.
We're in Chula Vista.
Yeah.
Where are you from in Chula Vista?
Rancho Del Rey.
Chula Vista off of J.
J Street.
I mean, I was wasn't gonna. I don't even think he would have known if I would have said like the actual cross street that I.
Probably he's.
You think?
He was Chula Vista.
No,
Chula
he
Vista.
would not have known.
He was from the river bottom, right? He was on Date Street.
I don't know.
He grew up on Date Street.
Yeah.
And then he told me where he was from. He said like 5th and something. I was like, what? I didn't know where that was, and then I felt even more like
Disconnected from me.
disconnected.
He
Yeah,
revoked your Chula Vista card right there.
a little bit.
He's like, let me guess, you married somebody
cute.
from Bonita.
It was cute because he reposted our picture on his social,
there it
and he
is.
put like some. I guess there's a song called Chula Vista.
Really?
Yeah, it
Barry, look that up, please.
It was
Thank you.
catchy. It was catchy. But what were we talking about before that?
Beefs in the industry.
Yeah.
Who do we hate?
Who do we hate? Who should we
What
not
channel
follow?
do we not watch
What do we not
anymore?
want to
No,
watch?
I think you should give them all support. I mean, do you guys watch the news?
My sister was, she went to school at SFSU
Okay.
for broadcast and journalism as well. So she took one of the other options that were available to her to work. She was a producer for KUSI.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so she was a producer for KUSI.
Okay.
So that's kind of when I started like really like paying attention. I grew up.
Is she still in the
no,
industry?
she left. She said
Okay.
it was too toxic for her, so she did.
Too toxic? Oh,
Yeah,
that's-
so she had to
that's
leave.
too bad.
Yeah. But I grew up watching news every morning.
Yeah.
Like KTLA. I was a big fan of
Yeah,
KTLA.
yeah.
Like Sam Rubin
The one who just
passed away. Yeah. Chris Christie or Chris. He was the entertainment guy.
Okay.
And then Carlos Amezcua.
You were watching?
Yeah,
KTLA?
every morning. That
From
was
the
part
South
of,
Bay?
Yes.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's who I would watch.
Wait, so what were you? How were you watching?
It was
this?
just in the background. It was just in the background and at home. Yeah, on Channel 5, KTLA
But
5.
I wonder how you guys got that channel.
I'm not going to get
Bonita
into the
activities.
specifics of the illegal Cox cable box that we had at our home, but that's the news station I would watch.
Okay.
Yeah, I would
Well,
watch
that's
that one.
cool.
Yeah, and I figured
Yeah.
like, oh, what are these LA people all about? And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like, don't like them. So then I started watching. Started watching like Fox because there's a one of the reporters locally, Kasha. She used to come down to the brewery a lot and drink beer.
Oh,
She's like,
nice.
do you have wine? We're like, no, good. I don't drink wine, only beer. I was like, all right, cool, come on through. So she had a good time with us, and she would always pay us a visit. So we watched her. I've watched ABC. I grew up like watching.
You don't have to say you watched ABC.
I know the names. Jack White.
Yeah, he was on
What's
there.
up? See, Jack White.
What's Joe Little on?
Joe Little's was on ABC.
I don't
He
watch
was
him.
on-
I don't
he-
watch him anymore.
He was on ABC.
Ruined my life.
So this is what happened.
Joe Little
Albert
ruined
does
my
not.
life.
Albert does not like Joe Little.
I love Joe Little, but
And
you
Barry,
ruined my
this
life.
is your opportunity to look up that
Joe
photo.
Little
while you
has
get a
actually
chance.
been he's been a mentor to so many aspiring journalists. To be honest, like he. I feel like I'm just hyping him up right now. I'm gonna just stop at that. He's a good.
He's a good dude.
person.
Yeah,
It
he's a
ruined
good
my
dude.
life, but
He's a
all
good
around
dude.
he's
So-
a
I
nice
believe
guy.
he lives in the South
He's
Bay
South
too.
Bay.
Yeah.
In East Lake.
Now he is, right? I don't think he always was.
No, when I
Once
was-
upon a time, the brewery we were barely opening, and he came down to do a report on what's going on, how's everything
It was
developing in
the
Third Avenue.
Chargers dropping the stadium. It was
Okay.
when they were leaving, when it was changing from Qualcomm to whatever it was after that.
And we were just open a
Yeah.
couple months, maybe like it was definitely 2017.
2017, yep.
And he came into the brewery. He's like, "Hey, Steve, can I talk to some of your staff or patrons that are there?" I'm like, "For sure, bro. Like, I appreciate appreciate you hyping us up and doing your thing." He talked to this guy, so I was like, "Hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor."
Why is that funny?
Because it's coming.
Oh, I don't know.
But it's because it's coming. Because it's coming. I was like, do me a favor. My guy Albert, stand-up guy,
Wait, what do you do there?
nothing. He got fired.
I didn't get fired.
okay.
I still pick up shifts from time to
He
time.
used to be
Okay.
the owner.
he
Yeah,
tells
I
people
still
he's the owner.
1%.
Okay.
1%. Just have a little skin in the game. So go ahead.
I said, my guy's a little cocky. I love him a lot.
Not cocky.
I think he's going to do great things, but do me this favor. He has really small teeth and really big gums. Can we, when you get a chance, on tonight's broadcast, when you're putting his name, just put
Oh, okay.
Albert, quotation, small teeth, Aguirre. I didn't know if it was going to happen or not. It happened. It totally happened. And then I watched it, and then everybody watched it. And forever since then, Albert has been anointed small teeth. He is now Albert Small Teeth Aguirre. Barry, do we have that image on?
I'm looking. It's way back there.
Don't worry about it. But yeah, and that's where the hatred for Joe Little came
I
from.
don't
my guy.
hate Joe Little.
Go ahead.
But I want to fight him.
To
know?
be fair, whatever name, if we're in the field and we're asking you what your name is, we will put whatever you say.
He didn't ask me, and if I ask him, he said it's still the
Okay.
best thing I've done in journalism ever.
There it is.
He's like, dude, I love it. It was my favorite
Oh,
moment.
yeah.
He's like, you ain't shit, and you know how Joe Little.
Next time you're up.
So he's
Founder.
not. He wasn't apologetic.
There he is. Talks. Small Teeth Aguirre.
That's on Google?
But look at all these other Albert
Yo.
Small Teeth Aguirre. So you're not alone.
Hold on,
These
that's
are
on
all
Google?
Albert Small Teeth Aguirre.
No way, that's on Google. No way that's on Google.
I've been accused of being a bully for many decades in my
Wait,
life.
so what was this? What was this story for?
About the Chargers.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
about the
stupid,
Chargers.
yeah.
It had nothing
Dental
to do with
hygiene.
Albert's
Right.
small teeth. It was just, it sold the story.
That's
yeah.
cute though. That's
Right?
a cute story.
Oh, thanks.
So next time you get an opportunity and you're just up there, hey, big ups to the Emo Brown boys. Out of you, small teeth. Whatever.
Whatever,
Never,
just
would
whatever
never
you
tell you
say.
how to do your job, but just in case you want to fill it in with some time, remember the small teeth over here. Oh, look at
That's
that.
actually really cute. I
Right?
like that.
He does have small teeth.
Yeah.
Right?
No, not
yeah,
yet.
they'll get bigger. They'll
Not
get bigger.
yet,
They'll grow.
not-
They'll grow up drinking milk.
Not yet. You have
drinking
small
milk.
teeth, but I think that's cute. That's a cute story.
Yeah, I like
Sure.
that.
We're storytellers. We
I like
enjoy
that.
we enjoy telling stories. That's part of the premise of what we do.
So back to my original question: Do you watch the news now?
I do. I mean, you know what I watch the news for? It's more like what's going on in the world.
Right.
Yeah, like what's
Okay.
what's
So, like,
going
world
on.
news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what's going on overseas, what's going on the border. It's like I feel like we know what's going on here.
Fox News on a
I'm
loop.
curious only because I don't know. I really don't know who watches the news, but I'll meet the most random people who still watch local news and know exactly who I am. And it's just.
Do you guys get reports, demographics of who watches the news? or-
It's right now. Obviously, we're getting older, right? So it's like the millennials. It's a little before or a little after the millennials. So I think the demographic might be like 35 to
Okay.
like 60.
I'm in that demographic.
Not me.
Yeah. So, and I'm curious, I'm like, do people still watch but then again, like I said, people will come up to me, the most random people, and be like, I watch you, or I'm a big fan. So that's why I'm like, oh, so that's
It's
cool.
like when people ask me, do people still listen to the radio? And I'm like, ooh, I don't
Shit.
know.
I
don't know.
The fan.
I-
Like
I
if
do-
I'm not in front of the TV and the
what is
and
the fan?
The
Is that-
Padres, when they and the Padres or the Aztecs are playing,
Okay.
and
I
I'm not in
listen
front of a
to-
TV, I'll listen to that.
I
Is
listen to
that Ben's?
sports.
Is that Ben's
Yeah.
station?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Ben's my colleague.
Oh, I don't know who Ben is.
Ben and Woods.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know Ben. I do know
yeah.
Ben. You're
We've
right.
done their golf tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, he's actually he's promoting his upcoming one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, so for the radio, I'll listen to that, and I'll
Right.
listen to Sports 760 because I'm an AM radio guy. I've always been a nerd.
I
like, to
do.
listen
I
to
do
that.
weather for Kogo.
Do you? Yeah.
And I get so many people messaging me like, I heard you on the radio, and I'm like, who listens to Kogo?
I
That's
listen.
amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm doing the weather for. I just know it's for radio, and I know it's for Kogo. I guess I should listen to Kogo.
I'm
but
saying. We asked some questions.
Okay.
We put it out there, Barry. We said, hey,
Did you really get questions?
We got names, too.
Yeah, I got some names.
Let's
They're good questions.
Okay.
They're not. If they're
No, I was gonna say, let's say who's asking them.
I'll got you. Okay,
Accountability.
We do have a couple that did leave their names. Some of them
Okay.
work at UPS. Dave Ogden asks,
Oh no, that you can't ask anything you mentioned.
ask Vanessa about the Portland fire alarm story. What does that mean? We'll put a pin in that one. We'll put
Is that
a
her
I don't-
nickname? And
a Portland fire alarm story. That's all that came through the
Yeah, I'll
dais.
I'll simmer on that one.
As it relates to weather, what is the best community to live in here in San Diego?
That's not fair for
For
weather-wise.
weather-wise, who has the best weather in San Diego?
That's not fair because it really depends on
Mm-hmm.
what you want, right? We have 4 microclimates. The reason why they're called microclimates is because there are different climates in these 4 areas
Get it.
of San Diego County. Do you know what the 4 microclimates are?
South Bay. Let's get it.
No.
No. My answer
National
will
City,
always be
Chula
South
Vista,
Bay.
East Lake.
So there's the coast.
Okay.
There's the inland valleys.
The desert and the mountains.
And that's also kind of a debate, in itself too. Do you think Chula Vista is the coast or the inland?
I mean, we have a bay.
right.
We have access, right? We can be more than one. We can check all boxes that apply, I feel. Because we have mountain areas. We have, some would say, a desert-looking like area.
So Chula Vista is considered the coast. So we have the coast, we have the inland valleys, we have the mountains, we have the deserts. You can really get a taste of different climates depending on what your
So the
cup of tea
coast
is.
reigns supreme, is what I'm hearing you say.
The coast is nice. For instance, over the past couple of weeks, we've had May gray. Some people don't want to be at the coast. They don't want the gray. They want to be in the inland valleys. For instance, like when I just did my weathercast before I got here, and Alpine, Fallbrook, Escondido was seeing sunshine. So,
It's
unfortunately,
about time East County gets a little love, huh? Give them
North
some
County,
sunshine. Give them some sunshine. I have another question for
Sure.
you. Is an anchor chair in your future? What are your long-term goals?
Well, what's funny is I was up for either an anchor or a meteorologist position, right? Like there were 2 openings at the time that I applied for the meteorologist. I went to school for meteorology. That's my passion. It's, I'm very passionate about Earth, or not Earth, but Earth. Yeah,
I love Earth.
I
love Earth. Bigger fan of the moon, honestly. But what's Earth done lately?
Just the environment and being eco-friendly, sustainability. I'm a huge proponent of all of those topics and issues that are going on surrounding those topics. So I anchor here and there, but meteorology is my jam right now. Will that change in 5 years?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll want to anchor, but anchor or weather, it's fun, just looking at the models and kind of the climate and the numbers and learning. I mean, the technology is getting so advanced now. So it's really fun right now what I'm doing.
San Diego for life, or opportunities arise outside of San Diego, would you jump at them?
It's funny that you say that because San Diego is actually a feeder station for LA. And I get that. I know a lot of people in San Diego who are like, my next stop is LA. Like
Mario Lopez. Go.
They're trying to.
I
think I'm. What's funny is during my interview when I worked at ABC, when I applied for ABC 10, I told the GM, I was like, I'm gonna live and die in San Diego. I was like, so if you hire me, like, great. If you don't, I'm still gonna make my way here and I'm still gonna be here forever.
Very nice.
That was probably a big selling point too for myself.
Do people have aspirations to make it on a national stage?
Yeah.
Okay, like
absolutely.
a Fox, a CNN,
absolutely.
MSNBC.
Yeah, I have colleagues who, that's their ultimate goal is to make it. And even people have asked me, they're like, "Are you going to be on GMA?" I'm like, sure, but man, that's such a big. Like, if I were to go to New York or LA, that's just a big move. And do you like LA?
Yes, I love LA. No,
Okay.
I love San Diego, and I have a place in LA for my heart, rather. And
You do?
Are you a Dodgers fan?
No, God,
what?
no.
That was on purpose.
He's doing
That was
Padre
on
shoes. He's doing Padre shoes.
That was a hate. I do have Padre colors on my
Dodger
shoes.
color hat, though.
You know what? I have nothing against LA. I just love San Diego more
I
than
love
anything
LA
else.
too. I went to college there. I mean, it's just so big. It's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's very big. It's not like New York City.
It's
not
scary right now, no?
All these big cities are scary. Even our small downtown is scary. I feel like there's just
our small town.
Yeah, it's a
what's
small
funny?
downtown.
I went to a Pilates class at a studio across from Petco last week, and there's a stretch that I've never seen.
The one by 12th and Imperial?
It was
That little Pilates studio right there, B Pilates? or
yes,
something? Yeah.
Be Fit.
Be Fit,
But there was a stretch that I had because I actually got married in East Village, like across from the Goodwill in East Village. I don't know if you know where that area is.
The good, yep.
But it's very different now.
Yeah.
The venue was called Sandbox. I don't know what it is now.
I remember the Sandbox. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we got married, and that I was driving through there, and it was just. And I don't go to downtown, right? I only go for Padres games, but I don't go to downtown at all.
Well,
So.
there is a little tasting room in Little Italy that you should visit.
I heard.
I mean, we don't have wine.
How long has that been open?
We opened in September of 2023. So yeah, what is it, like 9 months?
Oh, almost a year.
Yeah, getting close.
Wow.
Yeah.
How is it doing?
We can.
Where in Little Italy is it?
India Street, across the street from Shake Shack and next to Mona Lisa.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's by Ballast Point too, right?
Yeah, it's right down the street from Ballast
Okay,
Point. Good
yeah.
friends of ours. Yeah, I mean, it's not Chula Vista, so I have to work extremely hard to make
Really?
it. Yeah, to stand out.
Are
over
there a lot of breweries in that area?
Not necessarily. There's Ballast Point. There's Bolt. There's a.
Okay.
It's all tasting rooms.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
there's not
right.
necessarily really.
And yours
breweries
is a
in there.
tasting
Ours
room.
is a tasting
Right.
room as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's cutthroat in the same sense that I'm going to assume that open positions in the news world, people are kind of always gunning for locations.
Yeah.
And when I saw this location pop up, I was like, I got to take advantage
Wow.
of it. Yeah. So we
That's
got lucky.
amazing.
Yeah, we got lucky, and we're very fortunate to get it. So yeah, now it's a
I
matter
have
of
to check that
building it.
out.
Whenever you're
I
available.
also don't go to Little Italy, but I'll
No?
go to Little Italy
You don't
too.
like Mona Lisa's? Have you not been to
sandwich
Mona Lisa?
shop?
I've
The
never
number
had
8,
it.
No.
Shooketh.
I
Great
did have
food.
I like Felipe's in Little Italy. That's where I had my wedding
Absolutely.
rehearsal
Very
dinner.
Nice.
I mean,
Chula Vista gal, man. Chula Vista gal.
it's funny though because Sean is like I don't think he grew up in. Did you grow up eating Labellas?
I grew up eating Felipe's.
See,
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know, Hilltop people. I feel like we grew up eating Labellas.
Taco
so,
Bell, probably.
So Felipe's is not
Del
like
Taco.
my first choice. Like I'm Labellas over Felipe's.
Okay. What about your taco shop? What is your go-to taco shop here in
Hard
Chula
In
Vista?
in
Question.
Chula
Chula
Vista.
Vista.
Careful.
No, don't say anything. Let this happen. Let's be organic.
Taco
with it.
shop Don Pedro's as of late.
As of late.
Lolita's like obviously I grew up on, and our friends are the Far fans, but
Big fans of the Far fans.
yeah. So
Big
my
Far fan
brother
fans.
is 03, and he grew up with all the Far fans,
Yeah.
so he's like really close with them.
Yet you chose Don Pedro's. Interesting.
As of late,
As of late.
What do you
Yeah.
order at Don Pedro's?
I don't know. It's a secret.
She's like, I don't want that getting out.
Yeah. All right.
No, I should.
Oh man.
Anything and everything. Definitely not salads. Like, I mean,
There's no
it's-
salads
it's-
there.
Yeah, it's not. It's all their Lolita's is great too. I mean, I will be a supporter of Lolita's forever, obviously. But Don P's like,
Nah, we like Don P's. We used to
Don
do
P's gets down.
taco tickets.
yeah. I
Taco
just
tickets in the
don't like
pandemic?
that they close so early.
What time do they close?
They close like at 8.
Yeah, that's when
Do
the
they
vaquero takes
really?
over.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
That's when, Alex
Little
is-
Rob asks.
El
Stop.
pequeño
Little
Rob.
Rob
The
asks.
real Little Rob.
Neighborhood
UPS,
music.
The UPS
okay.
Little Rob asks. Weather seeding, chemtrails, global warming,
Jesus Christ.
northern. What is really going on? He wants to know about these things, I guess. What is your knowledge on weather seeding and chemtrails?
I don't, I'm not well-rounded in that topic. I know that there are no such thing as chemtrails, at least just, it's from airplanes. It's, just the really cool air that crystallizes in the atmosphere. The chemtrails, that's like a, not a theory, but what are they called?
A conspiracy.
Yeah, it's a conspiracy theory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which, back in the day I was like, oh, what are chemtrails? And, I was one of those who like Googled it. But, after going to school for meteorology, like that's not a thing.
Why should people tune in over asking Siri for the weather? And what are your thoughts on AI?
There's a difference between telling the weather and explaining why things happen.
Get it.
Yeah. So I think, for instance, why the marine layer develops, why it's windy in the mountains versus the coast or the beach the most, why thunderstorms occur, why a hurricane becomes a tropical storm, right? Or what happens when two air masses meet, like a warm and a cold air mass, and
What happens?
Chaos. Chaos.
well, that's,
happens.
ultimately how clouds are formed and how rains form, thunderstorms, right? Thunderstorms are it's just really warm air rising, and that obviously creates sometimes hail.
Tell my dog
thunder,
that, dude. My dog don't
lightning.
like that shit.
Your dog doesn't like
My
that?
dog doesn't like thunder at all.
Yeah, it's not cool.
He
for
doesn't get it, bro. He
dogs.
doesn't fucking get
What
it.
was the second question?
Global warming.
No, you said AI.
Oh, we went AI, yeah. And what are your thoughts on AI potentially replacing these positions? I guess AI can potentially replace all of us, though. Barry, I'm looking at you. And
That's
me.
not nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm sure it's not a nice person. I'm sure it's not a nice person.
I don't. It's scary.
AI is scary.
You want to run for the hills when you hear of that, of course, and you're always like thinking, "Oh, is my job at risk?" Which it is. I mean, but I try to like make people want to tune in to 10 News and give them a reason and be able to explain again why things are happening. Be a little personable at that.
You're very personable.
I think that's something though that AI can't replace. Of course they could, obviously they could make a replica of me that talks about the weather and uses all the AI resources and information.
What did we tell AI the other day? We ran through GPT chat and asked it.
Oh, we had to do an Emo Brown show.
Yeah, recreate a
An Emo
script.
Brown?
Yeah, recreate a script for an Emo Brown podcast.
Did it do a good job?
It did. It spit everything out.
that's
I don't know if he did
scary,
a
right?
good job. He did
And
a
then
job.
we did it, and then we said,
Yeah.
"Do one in Spanish," and I was like, "Oh wow!"
Sí.
And it was crazy, and it does those things.
That's
AI
scary.
AI is bananas.
It's bananas.
AI is bananas.
Yeah.
Vanessa Paz was also a 542 union member during her time at Costco. Is this true?
Yeah, I was at Costco for a little bit.
Nice. Hearing it on
H. Yeah, I actually worked there when I was going to Southwestern, and I left because that's when I studied abroad. So when I went to Spain, I was like, bye. Again, like Costco's great. I'm like,
People remember you is basically what I'm getting from these questions is they know about you.
yeah,
They follow your career and they're
yeah. I mean, Chula Vista is such a small town too, which yeah.
pretty much a celebrity.
No, I
Pretty
wouldn't.
much a
no.
celebrity.
But Costco's great. Sometimes I'm like, man, what would life have been if I stayed at Costco? Like, it's so amazing. And I don't know, but.
Funniest thing that has ever happened to you on air?
Oh, I mean, something happened today where I like literally had like a fruit sticker on my pants. Funniest thing that happened to me.
A fruit sticker on your pants?
Yeah.
from, like,
I
a
was like
banana or
on
something?
air and there was a big white thing on my pants. And I was like looking at the playback of it. And I was like, what is that? And I thought it was just the lighting, right, from the glare. And I looked down and I was like, oh, it's like the sticker from the Apple. Like,
It had the code for Apple.
I'm trying to think of what.
2347.
Oh, yeah. Well, my first time on air in Portland, I remember like it was my first day. And I just like, I didn't know that one of the cameras was on, like that they were taking that camera. And I just like walked right by it like nobody's business. And like, they were like, well, there's Vanessa like making a grand entrance. And I think one time for Halloween, I was wearing like a costume and I had like I had the headband on and the tag was just sticking like up and out. And I had no idea the whole time. And I guess that's not even that funny, though. I don't know.
That's not even that funny. Yeah, because you walk in front of the camera all the time, dude.
Others just leave.
You just get up,
I leave
walk
half
across.
Yeah.
No regard for the
Him and
work that we
Plomero.
put in, bro.
Gotta hit the restroom.
He literally just did that last week.
Dude, it's bad for you to hold it.
Albert, any questions for Vanessa Paz? Here we go.
We didn't get a taco shop order.
So you went to Castle Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all you need to know about that.
My dad went to Castle Park.
Once a Trojan, always a Trojan.
Yeah.
What else? No, I think, I had questions about who did, certain segments. I'm a big San Diego State fan, so I know that they do the weather at every game. But
But
you
it's
guys
not
don't do that.
me.
You guys don't do that, so it doesn't
No.
matter. Yeah.
Not yet.
Now
at
you're
least.
crushing it. I mean, it's dope to see somebody from Chula Vista doing something this cool, right? Like
Maybe if I wasn't a meteorologist, I would be a real estate agent. I feel like everyone I know from high school is a real estate agent.
you name two.
Gabe Mendez.
Oh, that's unfair.
I take that back.
That's unfair.
I
Don't
take that
don't
back.
follow him in with us.
I take that back. I didn't go to high school with him, but he ended up selling my brother's home when he had his on the market.
Yeah, Gabe has a big team now.
And I don't know. I feel like everyone's. No, you don't think?
There's a lot of
real
real
estate agent.
You know what's funny too is I actually have a colleague who has a real estate
License?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
So
I
we
was
get a lot
actually
of that.
thinking of that. I was like, should I get my real estate license?
You should get
there
it.
you go.
Ah,
Yeah, let us know if you need help. We're happy to guide
Full
you how to get
circle
it.
group.
Happy to help you. Happy to, whatever you
because
need.
the thing is, I remember someone once telling me they're like, if you have like a presence, right? If people know you in the community, like they were like, you could make a killing with real estate.
100%.
That's what a meteorologist did in Portland. Like he quit his job and he like, I guess just like his career in real estate was just crazy.
Yeah, I think that
That's a valid point.
the
Yeah.
era of part-time realtors is coming to an end.
Go ahead.
Okay.
But just because of the.
He's like, so don't
well,
enter this.
no, I'm saying
You know what you're aspiring
It's one or the other. Well, part-time realtors, only because of that. I don't know if you're on the news, right? So the biggest topic on the news
There's
about
not
real
enough
estate
homes.
is it's the lawsuit, right? As realtors, we got sued. The NRA lawsuit.
You say realtors, like every real estate, like
Yeah, in the country. So
Okay.
it's changing. So the MLS is changing for every realtor in the country.
Okay.
So now before I can show you a home, you have to send an exclusivity agreement with me starting in
Really?
July.
Gosh, he seems so serious.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Maybe
good at it.
You should guest speak at a real estate class or something.
Not with those
instead.
teeth and gum.
No, but as soon as I lose 20 pounds and get veneers, it's game over, dude. I'm a start.
Juicing.
Yeah.
Juicing.
Dude,
Juicing.
we're gonna start juicing tomorrow. We'll
Yeah,
talk about that off
alright.
air. But yeah, no. So I think part-time agents. But yeah, if you have a presence in the community, like I got 4 or 5 deals working behind the bar at 3 Punk.
So are you like? Is it pretty widespread? Your real estate? I don't even know. Like your
Yeah, so we do a little bit of everything. We do some buy and flips. We obviously do.
No, but is
retail
it
stuff.
across San Diego County?
And I do a lot of Temecula.
Oh.
I do a lot of Riverside County.
Man, real estate agent, like, oh my gosh. So I have a home in Portland. I'm renting it out, but the real estate agent who sold that to me, oh my gosh, like if you have a good real estate agent, like he literally would pick us up like every single day to look at houses, not even with a guarantee that we would buy anything from him.
Yeah.
Like pick us up, sometimes take us out. I don't know if you do this, but
100%.
sometimes take us out to eat, like, just literally like, okay, cool. Like I'm free this day. Like it would be the weekends when you would think like, but he was on call, which was crazy.
People first, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah.
is when I'm available for my clients. 619-646-1600.
Look at you, bro.
Yeah.
Veneers.
Veneers.
That's all you need.
And 20 pounds, I think.
20 pounds of veneers. Image is everything in real estate. Do you see a correlation in the news industry and newsroom? Do people really go that extra mile to look their best? And is there pressure from the stations?
I feel like it's different now.
Okay.
I feel like it's different now. When it was funny, like about 10, like when I first started off in the news industry, my news director at the time like asked me to do like a spin for him, right?
Jesus.
Well,
Canceled.
That's what he did before I was able to sit on that
but
chair.
he actually
Steve made
was
me do
like,
that.
okay, we're gonna like need you to cut your hair. I was like, okay, so I had to cut my hair.
Really?
Yeah, and like before, and so we have contracts, right?
Yes.
And the contracts is like you have to, if you do any drastic hair. I think it's different now, to be honest, but. Also, I don't think my contract has that. I can't, dye my hair. But I can't go in the newsroom with platinum blonde tomorrow. At least I don't think I can, but I'm pretty sure
You have to run these things probably.
I
by
have to
somebody.
run nearly everything.
The movie Knocked Up. Remember, we're not saying you got to lose weight. You got to tighten up.
Oh man.
That's what
that's
they
the
say,
thing.
dude. You gotta tighten up.
It's
It's a TV world.
People are just, and also like some people are just mean. There's so many critics out there like that are just, they're bullies, and I remember at my old station, people went home, like there were colleagues that went home because they cried over emails they received. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah. But thankfully I feel like like San Diego has been so supportive, and some of the words I get, like when people see me on the streets, it's just amazing.
What
like,
kind of words?
Just like, like for instance, I emceed an event in Bonita a week or two ago, and they were just like, just to have you here representing the South Bay and like the AAPI community is like, just, it's huge. There are people who are watching you, like thinking like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
Like, she's from the South Bay. And also I do a lot of school visits
You're
too.
a role model.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of school visits and like read to kids, and it's just so special. Like just, having, if I do, but having that impact, on kids and
You have to
youth
be
and
on all the
stuff.
time then, huh? You gotta always have to be like mindful of.
I have to be mindful, and people don't believe me when I'm like, I have to be mindful of like what but we all should be mindful, right, of what we're doing. But now with like
Looking at you, Albert.
but now with like social media too, it's
Yeah.
like, and yeah.
Again, I'm surprised you agreed to come on. In all honesty, I was like, oh my God, she works for like a news station here. Has she not seen what we put out? Does she not see?
I
these?
listened to a couple. Well,
We're
what's
not.
funny is I was like messaging you. I remember I was like, I'm kind of nervous, and you're like, don't be nervous. It's because like as a reporter, we're in control.
Yeah.
We ask the question. So when someone wants to do the reversal, like ask us, we're like, wait a minute. Like,
We just want to get to know you.
And it's funny too. That's like the number one thing is like when we interview people for stories, they're like, can I get the questions beforehand? I say no. It's got to be organic.
Get it.
Because otherwise you're going to rehearse the answers, and it's not going to be the money bite, which are sound bites. I'm sure as you guys know. So
Yeah, cancel combos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the ones we look for.
The Albert
Yeah.
special.
That's usually just us.
so
Thank you.
yeah, I feel like we talked.
We did.
long
We did it.
fun.
And I'm like, this is like it's my lunchtime right now.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah.
All right. She's going to go to Don P's. Sorry, George
I'm not going to Don
Farfan.
P's. I know, but what are your guys' favorite restaurants here? Too many?
I like Tacos del Gordo. Call me basic, but I still enjoy going to Tacos del Gordo.
Favorite restaurant or favorite
Or
like
just
Mexican?
anything.
I like Costa Brava in
Okay, and I
Petey.
meant
South Bay.
in the South Bay.
Oh, okay, in the South Bay. Go ahead. What you got? I
La-
feel like you've got a list of all these restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, I eat out a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
La Nacional. I'm a big La Nacional fan right
Yeah.
now.
I love that place.
That place is bomb.
That place is good.
And Chef, I mean, that dude, he crushes.
It's
Like,
funny
he-
because I actually had my birthday there, and
They have wine?
Yeah, the
They
full
don't
bar.
have wine.
Full bar.
They don't have wine, but I've been on a Paloma kick, and they don't really have. The thing is, before La Nacional, it was the Vogue, because they're the only ones who have aside from Silver Dollar and Docks, but they were the only ones who had like a full bar.
Yeah.
Right. So, and does La Nacional have a full bar?
I think
They
so.
do, yeah.
Yeah,
They
for
do.
sure.
They have everything.
And then Lemon the Coconut has that tiki bar that has
Right.
good rum
Yeah,
drinks.
yeah. So,
La Bella. If you
La
really,
Bella's
if you
really-
oh, you're
does.
right.
There's some bar,
Dang,
yeah.
I'm
You
actually
really-
missing
we've had
a
a
lot of
couple.
spots.
Darcy will make you a nice
Actually,
drink.
Darcy, is that the bartender?
Yeah, it's one of them there
Okay,
for sure.
cool. Yeah, but gosh, there are so many cool places opening.
Are you
up
on the
over
west side of Chula Vista now, or are you on the east side?
So I'm in Rancho Del Rey.
Okay.
So I'm literally like Southwestern is my backyard.
Where do you guys go eat over there?
College Estates.
Honestly, I'm kind of like, I'm not bougie, but like, I feel like there's not a lot of places within that area. There's TJ Oyster Bar.
Oh, I love that place.
MJ's, or what's the?
I've never been there. It just
it's
seems
bomb.
it seems like crazy looking to me.
The 805 burrito
a
or
little
whatever they
bit,
have?
yeah.
It's bomb. You ever had that place?
I've heard about it. Yes.
You're right down the street from Ika Sushi. If you want good sushi, Sammy, he's a local Chula Vista guy. Say
Ika. It's called Ika?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
You remember where that old Albertsons that closed 10 years ago?
Yeah, okay, that's in that shopping center?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ika
Where the fire
Sushi.
department is.
Yeah, they took over Goodies
Pizzo's.
too in National City.
Pizzo's is honestly one of my favorite.
So
places.
Ika's 2 doors down.
I see.
Yeah, where the Breakfast Society's at or
Got
whatever.
it.
So a
Okay.
couple little
We
spots
learn a
out there.
lot on the podcast. We learn about eating out.
Well, if there's a segment I could cover is new restaurants.
Cover it well.
It's a fat joke because I'm wide.
I gotta stop. You know what's funny though is I've been to 3 months. By the way, what's the name?
I was just basically 3 of us who grew up in a punk band.
Okay.
We just kind of did our
that's
thing.
cute.
Yeah. I've been called cute for being in a punk band one time in my life right now.
It was cute.
and we just kind of did that.
Okay.
And then from there, we're like, well, what do we like? What are we passionate about? Beer, punk, rock music, and soccer.
Yeah,
Threw it
yeah.
in the blender.
Soccer.
And then
Man
all came
U.
out. Yeah. Oof. Glory, glory, Man United. Yes, we suck, Vanessa, but that is our team.
It is. Yeah. But that's
Is your
cool.
husband a United fan?
That's the only reason why I'm a
Okay.
United fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of grew into that, and all I do is now I'm actually a big soccer fan now. MLS was huge in Portland.
The Timbers.
Oh my gosh, like it's an insane. I don't know. Have you ever been to a MLS? I'm sure. Have you been to any like a soccer game where it's just the army and all that?
I'm Mexican, so that's one of the boxes that are prerequisites.
Is that Drew Carey's team in
sorry?
Portland? Is that Drew Carey's
I
team?
don't know.
Or that's
Oh.
Seattle?
I don't know. No.
He owns a
I
team. Drew
know.
Carey owns a team, an MLS team.
Interesting.
It's a
It's a-
crazy
it's a
experience,
blast,
though.
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's the Mexico games are pretty comparable.
Well, now that we're gonna have SDFC,
That's what I'm saying. It
That's
was
gonna be
just,
next level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really exciting. But soccer's fun to watch.
see, Chula Vista people.
Yeah.
That's how we get down.
He also
I
owns
was-
taco shops.
I was a Chargers fan. But
We all were. Don't be embarrassed. We all were.
Yeah.
And then they abandoned us.
Yeah.
Abandoned us and left to LA like other things from
Keyword
Chula Vista.
was.
Yeah.
Bottom line, thank you for making time to
Thank
come out here. I'm
you.
surprised they gave you clearance to come on here. We'll make sure it comes out very nice. The lighting, I'm pretty sure you're happy with it. Thank you for
The
cruising.
lighting's great. It was great. Thank
Vanessa
you.
Paz, thank you for cruising through. Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite local meteorologist.
Channel
Vanessa
10,
Paz.
ABC.
There it is.